Delta State men's basketball team started off its second half swing of Gulf South Conference play a little out of sorts. The Statesmen were supposed to play West Alabama on Thursday, January 30th, and then Alabama-Huntsville on Saturday, February 1st. Mother Nature forced Thursday's game to become a Monday game, making the game against the Chargers the first time DSU has played a league opponent twice this season. We pick it up about 8 minutes into the first half. Senior Cornell Knight drives into the paint, goes up on the left side, reverse layup with his right hand. Delta is trailing UAH, though, at this point 11-7. Alistair Chisholm with the ball here. No one really gets in his way. He scores. Statesmen only down 2 now. Mike Weems makes a cut through the lane. That leaves Willie Reedus open to shoot. One-handed bucket, and we are all tied up. Less than a minute to go in the half. Devin Schmidt left wide open from downtown, drains the three, and at halftime it's 22-17 Statesmen. Second half now, Reedus drives into the paint. Ends up dishing to Mike Washington, who gets the bucket, draws the foul. The DSU bench loves it. Washington makes it a three-point play. It's 43-37 Delta. Jack Magin passes to Weems. He misses the long ball here, but Reedus there to rebound, put it in the net. 10-point lead for the Statesmen now. Time is winding down. Knight goes to Reedus. Willie goes behind the back to Mike Washington for that monster dunk. Delta State goes on to beat Alabama-Huntsville 59-51. The Statesmen haven't lost since the second conference game of the season. That was against West Alabama, and it wasn't pretty. So Delta definitely looking for a little revenge when the Tigers came to Cleveland. To sum up the first half pretty quickly, it was the Devin Schmidt three-point show. Here he is draining one from beyond the arc. This all happens in the final 4 minutes of the half, and the crowd loves it. Here we go again, this time a little stop and pop. West Al calls a timeout because Delta is suddenly up by 11. Schmidt not being picky about his shots, though. Here he comes with a little jumper at the foul line. Statesmen up by 13. Want a little more? Okay, well, the kid can't miss. The true freshman takes a second to decide if he wants to shoot, waits for the defender to get out of the way, drills it. The buzzer sounds, team and crowd go wild. Delta State has a 16-point lead at halftime. Things calmed down in the second half. The scoring didn't stop, though. Delta was up by 30 at one point. Schmidt recorded a career-high 35 points, and Delta State returned the favor to West Alabama, winning 92-70.
I think our team was chomping at the bit to play this game, and frankly, I was a little bit concerned when weather forced us to change it to the night, that there could have been an emotional letdown going into Saturday. But this team has been so good in terms of their preparation at such a high level. And our game Saturday against Huntsville was phenomenal in terms of our defensive execution. We did not play nearly as well offensively, but our setup defensively, our team carried out to almost perfection. And then we come back for this one. I knew we wouldn't need a lot of motivation. Our team really wanted this game. I mean, you want to win every game, but they understood the importance of this game in the conference race, the importance of this game in the regional rankings, and the importance of this game in making sure that we make a statement that, hey, you beat us there, but you got to come here to play.
So 2 wins over UAH and UWA keep the nationally 15th ranked Statesmen on top of the Gulf South Conference with an 11-1 league record and on a 10-game win streak.
Both games were really tough and grinded games in different ways. Tonight was a much faster paced game that we were able to hold them to, I think, 38% shooting, which now is like the, I think, 4th or 5th game in a row that we've had one that shot 40%. Everybody else has been under 40, which is really points towards our defense. But the Huntsville game was there was a small number of possessions because of the way Huntsville set up their game. And that's one of the things, Katie, that I've been really pleased with this basketball team, is that we have shown the ability to play at a lot of different speeds, a lot of different tempos. And really good basketball teams, and I think we're on our way to being one. We have a long way to go, but really good basketball teams have the ability to play at different tempos. You know, every night you can't necessarily always determine what that tempo is going to be, and your ability to play to however the game plays out is really important. And so obviously we were able to do that in a low possession, grinded out, gut-wrenching game against Huntsville, where every defensive possession was of the greatest importance, to tonight where there were a much greater number of possessions, but we certainly maximized on both ends how we handled those.
In just the first half, Devin Schmidt scored 26 points, shooting 9 of 12 from the field, including 5 of 7 from three-point range.
That's who Devin is. He's a scorer that we have converted into a ball handler. And I'll be very honest with you, I like that kind of guy, because if you've got someone handling the ball for you that has the ability to score as Devin does, he becomes such a weapon, so to speak, offensively. And he did certainly kick it into a different zone there in the last 3 or 4 minutes of the first half. But I've been really proud of Devin through this entire season. Every game he grows up a little bit. Every game he does a better job defensively. He does a better job handling the ball. I mean, you look at tonight, and obviously everybody, the 35 points jumps out at you, but he also had 7 assists and 1 turnover in 39 minutes of play, where the ball was in his hands the majority of the time, and he had 1 or 2 defenders on him the majority of the time. And I thought then secondly, he did a really good job in the second half of understanding that the focus changed a little bit, and we wanted to really, with the foul trouble that West Alabama had incurred, pound it inside and get it in there. And I thought that he and our other players did a tremendous job of feeding the post, and getting the ball inside and taking advantage of the foul situation.
The Statesmen now turn their attention to playing all the other GSC schools the second time around, and there's no doubt a 4-game lead on second place in the conference standings is a nice confidence booster.
I don't know if it's harder to win, but I think as you go in deeper into conference play and film becomes such an impact where everybody has the opportunity to review how you're being played, and it becomes like most leagues, it's a copycat league. So if someone sees somebody had success in doing something versus you, then you're probably going to see that. That's one of the things I've been really pleased with our guys. Regardless of what we've seen, if they chose not to guard someone or not to guard 2, if they've played zone, they've played man, they've pressured, whatever that course of action that they've taken, we've been able to adjust and play pretty well.
With just 8 games left before the GSC tournament in Birmingham, head coach Jim Boone says he won't fix what ain't broken, and it's time for a little R&R for his players.
I think we have enough wrinkles, so to speak, offensively that determine on how you're going to play us. We can go in that direction. Defensively, no changes. And the biggest key for us is, and we're one of those teams, I believe there's 2 schools of thought. There's surprise and change, where you're playing multiple defenses or changing your offense and those kind of things, or simplicity and execution. And we certainly fall in the latter 2 of those schools, where we're trying to keep things as simple as possible. The biggest change that we make this time of the year is really to reduce practice time. And for instance, like this game, 99.9% of all of our work in setting up the game, with the exception of Monday and Tuesday. We did have that advantage that Monday and Tuesday we were working on West Al. But you know, we changed that to Huntsville. Our work was done this morning. And that's what we want to do with this team now. You know, we'll bring in our guys that don't get as much opportunity to play minutes, that our red shirts, and we'll work them on days that we're not practicing. But our guys that are playing a number of minutes, the key now is rest, and it's not as much physically as it is mentally. We want to keep our guys mentally fresh as we go down the stretch here.
Next up for Delta State is a road swing with West Georgia and Shorter before coming home to face Christian Brothers and Lee. For GoStatesman.com, I'm Katie Smith.